Hey guys, welcome to this tutorial, and here I'm going to show you how to get the basics of Laravel broadcasting system installed. So we're going to be using Pusher and Laravel Echo. So I'm just going to give a very basic installation of this because it can be a little confusing, and reading the documentation alone can be a little confusing, and you have to install more than one dependencies together. So yeah, let's get started right to it. So this is a fresh Laravel installation, and I'm just doing it on my local server, so nothing special there. One thing that is special is I do have pusher.com. I have an account on pusher.com, which I'm going to log in right now. And so this is my pusher.com account. And under my apps, I'm going to create a new app, and I'm going to create, let's just say broadcasting 37, and I'm just going to go create my app. And then we're going to get, on the right side here, we're going to get all of these. So we get app ID, key, secret, cluster, encrypted. So these will be, we'll be using all of these, and we won't be using Ruby gems. We will be using .env installation. So but we can just copy and paste these things. So the first thing we want to do is we want to actually copy all of these into our .env file, because Laravel uses .env. What is an env file? I'm not quite sure, but that's what Laravel uses. Laravel is a opinionated development tool, meaning that it's at the discretion of Taylor Otwell of what he wants to implement inside Laravel, and that's what Laravel becomes. It's not based on a set standard. It's Taylor Otwell's creation, and he gets to make it the way he wants to. So, you know, whatever he chooses to utilize, we have to end up using, and something like that. So, but it takes a lot of the brain work out of it, and we can just like utilize a software or piece of tool that's all well put together. So, it should be fine. So, enough of that. So first thing we want to do is I want to, all right, copy and paste all this. So I'm going to go to, first thing we need is app ID, copy and paste that, and then the key, and then secret. I have no idea what these are. I just know that I have to do them because I was using them for a while. And then you have to change this log to pusher. Log is the dummy version of it, where it's like your test environment, where there's like a file called log somewhere, and it logs the pusher related data into there, the pusher notifications in there. But we want to actually utilize pusher for real-time application, so we're going to use pusher there. So the first thing we want to do is, if we go to actually we want to go to resources and views. I'm going to create let's say event listener.blade.php, and here we're just gonna do this. And one thing we have to do is, if we go to broadcast, if we go to broadcasting, and we go to installation, I believe we need to have CSRF token. So copy this and just place it right here at the meta. And then here we're going to just have an app div for our VJS component later on. And here we're going to say this is the event listener. This is the event listener page, and when the event is fired off, this page will listen to the status update and fire off the related listener command. So that's basically what it's going to do. And at the bottom here, we have to include the script for Vue.js, app.js, so we can include the file. So we're going to go source js app.js, and then parse it utf okay, UTF-8, okay. All right, so all right, so we have that. So if we go to oh wait, we have to go to routes. So we're here on routes. We have to do a few things. So first, I'm going to say route get, and let's say event. Let's call it alert box. Alert box function. Return new view, and the view we just created is event listener. And we have to also, I'm going to create a separate route for firing off the event. So we haven't created the event yet, but we will in a moment. So I'm just going to create this here first. So yeah, route get and fire event function. And then we have to do event new, and then we're going to call the event trigger event, or let's say event trigger, since we'll be reloading this specific page to trigger the event. So let's create the event. So to create the event, it's going to be under saved under here. Right now, those are the 4 folders. We've got console, exceptions, HTTP, providers. Okay, so first things first, we have to create. Let's see. We have to create. Let's see. PHP artisan make event, and then we're going to say event trigger. So now, if we go back here, it should update. So okay, now we got a new folder, events here. Okay, perfect. Event trigger, and now let's create the listener. So PHP artisan make listener, and listener is going to be called pop-up box, then event trigger. That should do it. So now we have a listener box. Okay, so great. So we have both event trigger and event listener, and in the event trigger, we have to do the should broadcast, so it knows we're using the broadcast class and uses the magic behind the scenes from Laravel and PHP. So we're going to say class event trigger implements should broadcast, and that should work. And if we go back here, we can say event trigger, and then we're going to also say use app events event trigger. So next we want to so if we go to broadcast, if we're installing pusher, we have to do this. So we're going to go to our terminal and say composer require pusher PHP server, and that should work. And it does take a little bit of time, but in the meantime, we should go to next. You should configure pusher credentials in this file. So config broadcasting.php. Okay, so let's go to config broadcasting.php, which is config broadcasting.php, and we have to change this to pusher. It says that supported pusher, Redis, log, and null. We're going to be using pusher, so let's change this pusher like that. And here in options, we want to if we go back to our pusher page, we have these two. So let's insert these inside the options. And we want to format this properly. Perfect. So that's exactly what we want. And there is some more. I think we have to go to providers and broadcast service provider. We have to use this class, and we have to initialize it in, I think, app service provider. No. Let's see which file it was. Oh, it's sent. So okay, so we have to go to, when using Pusher and Laravel Echo, you should specify Pusher as your desired broadcaster. So we have to go to resources.js.bootstrap. So resources.js.bootstrap, and at the very bottom, we have to uncomment this. It's perfect, and we have to update this. So these are a lot of steps. Like, it doesn't say anywhere exactly you have to do all this, so I had to kind of figure this out, which is a little annoying. But that's why I'm making this video, so it's easier for you guys, so you guys don't have to spend as much time figuring this out. So once we get that, let's see what else we need. So we have that, okay, so that's good. And then we have to install Laravel Echo. So Laravel Echo. So installing Laravel Echo. So if we go back to our command terminal, let's install Laravel Echo. So we have to do npm install. Let's install npm first, because we're going to be using Vue.js and we're going to be using run watch in a bit to make that happen. So I'm going to do npm install right now, and I'll be right back as soon as the installation is completed. Perfect. So now we have npm install done. Let's do npm install for the Laravel. So Laravel Echo is a JavaScript library that helps listening to subscriptions and events. So we're going to do, we're going to do npm install save Laravel Echo pusher.js. And we already did this part. I think we did this part too. Okay, so that's pretty much it, I think. I think if I do npm run watch right now, that should be working. And then if I go to app.js, if I go here and I say, let's see, if I go created Echo channel, and I think our channel name, I don't think we've created our channel name yet. So on broadcast, we want to, I'm just going to do normal channel, public channel. And I'm just going to say channel demo event. Go back to app.js and say channel demo event. I think that's what it was. Was that what it was? Event trigger.php. Yep, channel demo event. Then say, oops, didn't with 2 spaces. I like 2 space indents. Listen. And then event, the event is event trigger. Then we're just going to say alert the event has been triggered. Here is the alert box for proof. All right, so if we go back, and at the top, I don't think we have to add anything at the top, no. Okay, so I think if we go back to, our page here, Laravel, and we go to, I believe it was, I can't remember. Go back to web, it was alert box. So I'm going to set one up here, say alert box. And we need a third tab. This one was fire event. Okay, so broadcasting 37 fire event public fire event. So if I console log this just to make sure there's no errors, there's no errors right now. So let's see, if I go to debug console here, and if I fire the event by refreshing the page, great, we have one channel, we're firing the event channel demo event, or no, the event is event trigger and the channel name is demo event. And if I fire this again, we can see what happens. So this is basically what happens when pusher is receiving the events, and it's just showing the top 3, but it fired 11 times off there as well. And next, we want to make sure that the blade template is including app.js in its file. I think we added that already. Let's just double check. Fuse event listener.blade.php. Yep, we have app.js. Okay, so now we want to see if it's actually triggering. So if I don't think it's triggering yet. Okay, WebSocket push error. Connection has failed. WebSocket is closed before the connection is established. Oh, so we have to include the cluster somewhere. I forgot to include the cluster somewhere. Let's check if so I got the cluster here, and I think I have to have it in one more area. I can't remember exactly where. Let's just double check our env. Env file looks fine. There's another, I forgot where exactly I had to have the cluster. So event service provider, nope, that's fine. Event trigger, app.js, bootstrap. I think here we have to add the cluster information. So I think this is with Laravel Echo installation. So here we have to copy and paste this part, paste it right here. And this has to be US2 because that's where I'm at. And I think it should work. I think it should work. So let's just double check now. Whoops. I'm going to be opening up Atom unnecessarily. So if I refresh the page, no errors, fire off the event. The event has been triggered. Here is the alert box for proof. So I can fire this off as many times as one, and yeah, so that's so you can use this to install Pusher and Laravel Echo using Laravel 5.4 and Vue.js. And this is really great for creating chat applications or any other real-time applications that needs real-time update without with the server relaying information to the JavaScript and having an open listener on the front end of your application so that it can update without refreshing anytime, without refreshing the whole page. It's very lightweight. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.